George, you really think he was serious about thinking that China's going to investigate the Biden family?
Jim Jordan is a name that sparks strong reactions across the political world. As a longtime Republican congressman from Ohio and one of the most outspoken voices in the House of Representatives, he's known for his sharp questioning, hard-line stances, and loyal following. But while most people know him from heated committee hearings and headline-grabbing interviews, not many know what his life looks like off-camera, especially where he lives and who he shares that life with. Behind the scenes, Jordan lives a surprisingly low-key life for someone constantly in the national spotlight. While other political figures might flash wealth, luxury vacations, or flashy homes, Jim Jordan is a bit of a mystery. There are no Instagram tours of his house, no photo shoots in designer kitchens, and no luxury vehicles parked out front, at least not publicly. That mystery has only fueled more curiosity about where he calls home and what his private world looks like. Some of that curiosity has centered around his house, described by people familiar with it as a modest but comfortable property in Urbana, Ohio. It's not a mansion in the Hollywood sense, but for his quiet hometown, it's definitely a step above the average. It's the kind of place that suits someone who prefers to keep their life private but stable, especially given the pressure and attention that comes with politics. Jordan lives there with his longtime partner, Polly Jordan, his wife since the 1980s. While Polly isn't a public figure, and she keeps far from the political spotlight, she's been a steady presence throughout his career. Their partnership, by all accounts, is one of quiet support, rarely talked about but clearly important to the life Jordan leads. As we go deeper into this story, we'll explore what's known about their home, their lifestyle, and how Jim Jordan balances a political storm with a seemingly peaceful life at home. Jim Jordan's home is located in Urbana, Ohio, a small city with deep roots, quiet neighborhoods, and a close-knit community feel. It's the kind of place where people value tradition, privacy, and hard work. Jordan has lived in the area for most of his life, and that consistency shows in his choice of residence. Unlike some politicians who move to big cities or upgrade to luxury homes in Washington, D.C., Jordan has always kept his home base in Ohio. That alone says a lot about how he sees himself and the image he wants to maintain. The house itself isn't over the top or flashy, but it's certainly a comfortable and well-kept place. From the outside, it looks like a traditional American home: simple brick or siding, a wide lawn, and space for family gatherings or quiet evenings. There aren't a lot of public photos, but those who've driven past or know the area describe it as spacious but modest. It reflects the values he often talks about publicly: hard work, family, and staying grounded. Living in Urbana also allows Jordan to stay close to his roots. He grew up in the region, attended school there, and even wrestled in the state while building his early athletic career. Staying local isn't just a personal choice, it's part of his brand. He's a politician who presents himself as one of the people, and maintaining a residence in his hometown reinforces that image. Whether you support his politics or not, it's clear he's stayed loyal to the place that shaped him. While Jordan spends a lot of time in Washington for his work, it's clear that Urbana is still home. It's where he returns when the political noise dies down, and where he shares his private life with Polly. Their relationship isn't something he talks about in interviews or speeches, but it's an important part of his personal foundation. In a world where so many public figures live their lives online, Jim Jordan and his wife have chosen to keep things old school, simple, quiet, and private. While Jim Jordan is known for being vocal in Congress, he's almost silent when it comes to his personal life, and that includes his relationship with his wife, Polly. She's rarely seen in public, doesn't give interviews, and avoids the spotlight entirely. But behind the scenes, she's been part of his life since long before the political fame. They've been married since 1985, having met in high school and grown up in the same small-town surroundings. Their relationship has stood the test of time, which isn't something you hear often in politics. Polly worked as a public school art teacher for years and has kept a low profile through Jim's political career. That grounded lifestyle seems to match the home they've built in Urbana: stable, quiet, and far away from the chaos of Washington. Friends and colleagues have said that Jim relies on her support, especially during difficult times in his political life. And while she doesn't appear at campaign rallies or political events, it's clear she plays a major role behind the scenes. Their home reflects that same sense of privacy and practicality. There are no reports of luxury upgrades, sprawling estates, or over-the-top design choices. It's a home meant for living, not impressing. Family, tradition, and privacy seem to be the core of their lifestyle. And for many of Jordan's supporters, that kind of home life is exactly what they admire about him. It fits the image he promotes: someone who hasn't gone Washington, despite decades in D.C. In many ways, Jim and Polly Jordan are the opposite of the typical power couple. You won't find them posing for magazine covers or throwing fundraisers in massive ballrooms. Instead, they've kept their life focused on home, community, and family. Their house may not be a mansion by celebrity standards, but it's clear that for them, it's the center of something more important. A life away from the cameras, built on loyalty and shared values. One thing that stands out about Jim Jordan's lifestyle is how consistent it's been over the years. Unlike many politicians who evolve into public celebrities, Jordan has stayed mostly the same. Same hometown, same wife, same straightforward home. He doesn't own beachfront property, luxury condos in DC, or vacation houses in the Hamptons. While there's nothing wrong with that kind of success, Jordan has made a point to live differently, keeping his personal life and finances relatively modest. This consistency has helped him build a strong base of supporters who see him as grounded and relatable. For his political image, the simple home life adds credibility. When he talks about values like faith, family, and hard work, he's not just repeating talking points, he's living them. And even critics, while they may challenge his politics, often acknowledge that Jordan walks the walk when it comes to personal discipline and staying true to his roots. His house in Urbana reflects that mindset. It's in a quiet neighborhood, far from media attention, and close to people he grew up with. He still shops in the same stores, goes to local events when he's in town, and keeps a presence in the community. It's a rare thing to see in modern politics, someone who hasn't moved on from their hometown or tried to reinvent themselves in a more glamorous light. What's most interesting is how little we actually do see of his home and lifestyle. That privacy is clearly intentional. Whether it's by choice or strategy, Jim Jordan has kept his family life off limits. In today's media-heavy world, where everything is shared, tweeted, and documented, that kind of control is unusual and impressive. It's a reminder that even in public life, some people still manage to keep personal life personal. Of course, with public curiosity comes speculation, and Jim Jordan's quiet personal life has raised plenty of questions over the years. Some wonder why there aren't more photos, interviews, or even home features like other politicians occasionally offer. But the answer may be simple: he doesn't want that kind of attention. In a time when many public figures use their homes and families as part of their brand, Jordan seems to have gone in the opposite direction. He's made his house a sanctuary, not a stage. That doesn't mean people haven't tried to dig deeper. Reporters, bloggers, and political commentators have all tried to get more insight into how Jim Jordan lives, especially during high-profile moments when he's in the national spotlight. But there's not much out there, and that's by design. It's clear that privacy is one of the things he values most. For someone as visible as he is in political debates, keeping his home life shielded is a rare achievement. Even in public records and real estate documents, not much detail is available about his home. The property is described as simple and well-kept, located in a quiet part of town. No flashy features, no dramatic remodels. And that's what makes it so interesting to many viewers: the contrast between Jim Jordan's fiery presence in Washington and his very ordinary, almost invisible lifestyle back home. It's this mix, the public and private Jordan, that keeps people curious. He's always in the news, always part of some big political conversation, and yet we know almost nothing about the space he returns to when the cameras turn off. That mystery isn't a scandal, it's just rare. In a world full of oversharing, Jim Jordan has managed to keep something for himself, and that might be one of the smartest moves he's ever made. At the end of the day, Jim Jordan's home life isn't about fame, luxury, or showing off. It's about privacy, consistency, and staying grounded. He's one of the most recognizable political voices in America, yet his personal world remains almost completely untouched by the spotlight. That says a lot about who he is outside of politics: a man who prefers family dinners over gala events, and quiet Ohio streets over loud political fundraisers. His relationship with Polly, his longtime wife and partner, is another example of that steady foundation. Their decades-long marriage has stayed out of the headlines, free from the drama or attention that follows many public figures. And maybe that's why it works. She's never tried to become a public figure herself, and he's never tried to bring his personal life into his political message. It's a rare kind of balance in today's world. While some viewers may have clicked hoping to see gold-trimmed staircases or a political version of MTV Cribs, what they'll find instead is something much simpler, and maybe more meaningful. A man who's chosen to live with purpose, but also with privacy. A politician who argues fiercely in the public square, but finds peace in a quiet house in a small town. That's not flashy, but it is real. So, the next time you see Jim Jordan on the news, remember this: behind the fire and the headlines, there's a quiet home in Ohio where life is lived far away from the cameras. No red carpets, no viral TikToks, just a man, his wife, and a house that holds more peace than power. And maybe that's the part of his story that deserves the most attention.